Bonjour, bonjour, comment ça va? J'espère que vous allez très bien. Moi, ça va bien. Alors aujourd'hui, so today we are going to continue with our practice for all those exams, for those who have CSEC exam, for those who have DELF A2 exams. Today is letter writing, and you know that writing is very important, especially for CSEC. If you fail writing, you fail the whole exam. So we are going to work on that, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, last week, for those who were with us, you remember that we did the directed situations, okay? We had about 15 directed situations, which you can still watch in the video because I leave the videos for you, okay? Now, a warm welcome to those who don't know about my channel. You are watching French Action, and this is the channel for all those who have French exams or those who want to start from scratch with the Blue Series online, and for those who want to practice or improve their level of French. So a warm welcome to you all. And if you are ready, we're going to start working now. And as I said before, I will continue to do those lives. And for those who have subscribed to the channel, they know that I'm going to be doing those lives until the end of June because I sent a post to my subscribers. So they should know that if you obviously read it. Okay. So next week is going to be about a little bit of grammar, vocabulary, because you know that even if you can write a letter, but your grammar is not good, you're still not going to get a good grade. And also for those who are doing CSEC paper 1, you know that there's a grammar section on it as well. So this is going to help you with all this. All right, so the letter writing, you know that there's already a video on letter writing. So if you watch it, you should know how to write a letter. But interestingly, we now know what is coming up. We know that it's going to be an informal letter, so we're going to focus on that. And we also know that it's about a recent activity. Now, what does that mean, recent activity? What it means is that you need to know your past tense. Past tense meaning passé composé, imperfect, and even better if you know the pluperfect. I mean, we're not going to deal with the pluperfect, but for those who are already good and who want very good grades, you can use the pluperfect in your letter. So what I'm going to do right now, before we start, I'm going to show you some thumbnails because you need to know what to look for especially if you're new to the channel. These are old videos which were made last year. You have le passé composé avec avoir, le passé composé avec être. So to have, to be, you need to know all these, which verbs take to have, which verbs take to be with the passé composé. And then you have your French Challenge 1 or your French Challenge 2, which are basically exercises. Okay, the first one is just with to have. The second one is just with to be. The third one is a mixture of both. All right, so that's how you can test yourselves. And also, some students can't always remember the to be verbs in the passé composé. So there's a video on that, and there are 7 ways. So I'm sure one way is going to be good for you. You will find something. And also the imperfect, there's other videos on the imperfect, but I'm just showing you those 2, passé composé versus imperfect, when to use the passé composé, when to use the imperfect, okay? So everything is here, is on the channel. Now, the last 3 thumbnails I'm showing you are not for letter writing, but this is for those who are working on paper 1 for CSEC. This is for your listening. So what I did with those videos, which are not new either, I basically went through all past papers and came up with this. Okay, so it's really targeted at CSEC level. However, if you are doing a DELF, this is going to help you because it's basically the same kind of vocabulary they are looking for. All right. So let's go back to letter writing. Okay. So bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour Rose. Bonjour Peace. Peace out and bonjour Taco Shell. Okay. Taco, you don't say bon après-midi. Bon après-midi is when you leave, you're going to say have a good afternoon. Okay? So it's bonjour will do, the same way I say bonjour tout le monde. Okay? All right, so let's write this letter. But before that, let's look at a little presentation which I prepared for you, especially today, so that you can see how to go about it. So I came up with some instructions. You write a letter to your French pen pal to talk to him or to her about your last visit to the zoo. Okay, so here we're talking about a zoo. Of course, it can be anywhere. Include an incident at the zoo and say how it impacted your outing. All right, so as you can see here, I've already underlined the keywords. One is the zoo. So what does it mean? If we're talking about zoo, we are going to refer to activities which are related to zoos. And of course, you need to know a few animals, okay? Include an incident at the zoo. So you have to think about something probably unexpected or maybe an animal which did something, or maybe a client who teased an animal or whatever. But you have to think about something and how it impacted your outing. Okay, so this is what the letter is all about. So when you start your letter, you have to think about the date, okay? Yes, peace out, a lion escaped. But do you know how to say that? All right. So the date, very important. So as you know, I'm live from Kingston, Jamaica. So I'm putting Kingston, but be careful on the day of the exam. It depends on where they tell you, where you're supposed to be writing from. If you're writing from France, don't put Kingston. Obviously, you're going to come up with a town in France. Okay, so you have the town, comma, le, then the number, then the month without a capital letter, and then the year. Okay, so you have to ensure that each time you use this format, and you're going to put it towards the right, because on the left, you're going to be having your cher Paul or cher Patricia. So I put the two here so that you can see that cher, ER, would be for male, whereas if it's with an E at the end, it's for a female. Okay? Now, you can stop me at any time. If you have any questions, comment, please write it in the chat and I will respond to you. No problem. Okay? I would like this to be very interactive. And remember, this live is for you so that you can practice. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do each time is to write a sentence based on whatever I will be covering, okay? So now I'm just going to remove this slide, okay? And I'm going to ask you to write the date. So can you write the date based on where you are from? Okay, so now the date is no longer on the screen. So very quickly, try to think of how you can write your date, putting the town where you're from or where you are at the moment. Okay? So while this is happening, because I'm not seeing anything as yet, I am going to play some music. Saint-Thomas le 5 juin, Rose Gray, you're right. Très bien. All right, so telephone, no, that is not going to work. It's not going to work because you put se. You shouldn't put se. In letter, you don't say se. Okay? Remember what I said? You need to put the town, comma, peace out. Why did you put a th? Can't do that in the exam, all right? Okay? So, Saint-David le 5, okay? This is how it's going to work. Okay? Bonjour, Odesha. Okay, so what I'm asking you all is to write the date on your letter, okay? And you'll be surprised. Many students make mistakes just starting with the date, okay? So, Saint-David, le 5 juin 2022. So, Saint-David is which country? I know it's not Jamaica. I don't know any Saint David in Jamaica. Okay, Grenada. All right. That's very good. Okay. So we're going to continue. Okay. We're going to continue. So remember, you have to put the place, comma, don't forget the comma, the le, the number, the month without a capital letter and without a th to the number, okay, and 2022, okay. Kevin Joseph, bonjour. Christchurch, okay. Christchurch, if it's the name of a town, don't forget to put your capital letter, okay. All right, so here you're going to have to put share for male or share for female, okay? That I'm sure you know that. So let's move on. So the introduction, what are we going to do for the introduction? For the introduction, we are thinking of saying hi, but also giving the reason for writing, okay? So when you have your introduction, you're not going to say straight away, because it's an informal letter, so you know it's your friend. The first thing you're going to ask is, how are you? Or are you okay? Or I'm fine, something like that, okay? So what I would like you to do, and I'm going to remove it from the screen, I'm going to ask you to really write 1 or 2 sentences as an introduction, okay? So peace out, we are just for the introduction saying hi. And later on, we're going to come up with the reason for writing, okay? So you need to write something regarding why, you know, hi. And the why will come in a minute. So don't worry about the why as yet. Ok, Rose Gray. Quoi de neuf? Je vais très bien. Très bien. Okay, so I can show that on the screen. That's very good. Cher Taco Shell, comment ça va? J'espère que tout va bien. That's very good. Okay. So something which I would like to add now is that when you do your introduction, or shall I say, when you do your letter, you need to have in your mind a number of words for each part. So you remember we have three parts. We have the introduction, the body of the letter, and then the conclusion. Okay, so things, it depends on the exam you're taking, but if, for example, working with CSEC, which is between 130 to 150 words, let's say I'm going for 150 words because it's easier to to say 20, 25, 125, at least you need to have a kind of number so that you, when you write, you need to count. Okay, we're not going to count as yet because the introduction is not finished. But when it's finished, we're going to do that. Bonjour, Chrisanne. Bonjour, bonjour. Okay, Pona. I'm not too sure about the last name, but you wouldn't say bon après-midi. Bon après-midi would be when you leave. Okay. Bonjour will do. Okay. So when we start the letter, we're going to say, how are you? I hope everything is fine, blah, 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 as you've just said. Then we're going to continue, right? We're going to say something like, I'm visiting, I would like to talk to you about something like that. So the reason for writing in this particular letter, remember, it's about a zoo. You remember, you've been to a zoo, so you are going to talk about your visit to the zoo, okay? So, all right. So I would like to see you. I'm not going to show you what I have, but I'm going to ask you to write something regarding the reason for writing. All right. In the meantime, I'm going through what you're writing. Peace out. Comment vous sentez-vous? Je vais bien. Okay. This is fine for a formal letter. Okay. If it's formal letter, no problem. In this particular live, we are going to do informal, but if you want to practice formal letters, that's fine. Okay. Jean, bonjour Jean, ça va? Comment les enfants? Ah, be careful. You can't say comment sont les enfants. Okay. You need to say comment vont les enfants. Comment vont, not sont. Okay. This is translation of how are the children, but remember that when you say how are you, we don't say comment es-tu, we say comment vas-tu or comment allez-vous. Okay, so we are using the verb aller, the verb aller. So we're going to continue with this. Comment vont les enfants? Unfortunately, aller is a very irregular verb. Okay, so the last person is vont, V-O-N-T. Okay. Toast, you said choisissent. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, Zoe, Isaac, bonjour, bonjour. Okay, so we have one here, Rose Gray. Je t'écris pour parler de mon expérience au zoo. Okay. I don't really like the word experience. Je t'écris pour parler de ma visite au zoo. Mon expérience, I don't really like the word experience. Okay. I know we say it in English, but je t'écris pour parler de. I'm going to still put this to show people that et je t'écris pour parler de, to talk to you about. And that is very important. Very often you miss the de out, okay? And Rose, you didn't. That's very good. Very good. Okay? I'm not seeing any other reasons for writing, and this is the part I'm interested in. Come on. Just for you to know is that whilst you're typing on YouTube, it takes a while for me to receive it because I'm not on YouTube, I'm on StreamYard. Okay? Alors, Taco Shell, je vais te dire de quelque chose à Feozo. Oh no, that doesn't work at all. Okay? First of all, you can't use dire. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Je vais te parler de. You can't dire de. You can parler de, but not dire de. Dire cannot be used in this particular context. So, je vais te parler de quelque chose. OK? Taco, je vais te parler de quelque chose. But then I don't understand a fait ozo. You want to say, I'm going to talk to you about something I did? But if it's the case, you need to repeat the I. And you know that I did is not a fait, it would be j'ai fait. So it's not quite right there. So Taco, I'm just expecting you to try to correct this. Okay? Alors, Odesha Thomas, Kingston le 5, yeah, the date is correct, très bien. Peace out. La raison pour laquelle j'écris cette lettre est que je suis allée au zoo pour voir le panda. Yes, I suppose it can work. I don't like the style. La raison pour laquelle j'écris, it's a bit too much, I would say. No, just say je t'écris. And you don't need to say cette lettre. Je t'écris. Because we can see the letter, so you don't need to say la raison pour laquelle j'écris cette lettre is just too heavy. Okay? Donc, je suis allée au zoo pour voir le panda. The rest is fine. Okay? Peace out. It's not grammatically incorrect. It's just the style. It's just style which is not quite right, but grammatically, it's fine. Tanepol, je t'écris quelques le mois dernier quand j'ai visité le zoo. Tanepol, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm writing last month. I don't think I understand that. Okay, you need to look at this again. Jean, j'ai visité hier le zoo à Hope avec mes enfants et je voudrais que tu y... Okay, I don't understand. Je voudrais que tu y... I don't know, Paul et Lisa. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Jean. However, you need to remember that je voudrais que, whenever you say je voudrais que plus somebody to do an action, it involves the subjunctive, all right? So this structure is going to be a little bit... Now, hier, Jean, I would put it, the French tend to put it first, hier, comma, j'ai visité, bla, 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 bla. OK? Bien. Taco Shell, je vais te parler de quelque chose que les animaux... Ah, OK, I'm going to talk to you about something that the animals did at the zoo. Oh, I like that idea. Okay. But les animaux a fait, check that, Taco. You cannot put plural and singular. René Mambi, bonjour. J'ai visité le zoo la semaine dernière pour un projet de biologie. Très bien. the only thing here is the reason for writing. Okay, so you just say j'ai visité le zoo. What is the reason for writing? Okay. Jabari, je vais te parler. You missed something, Jabari. Je vais te parler. Ma visite au zoo. Okay. So you have to remember that is ma visite au zoo. Visit is feminine, so you can have mon, even if you're male. Okay. So Tanepol, you're saying it was supposed to be, I'm writing to tell you about last month when I visited. Oh, okay. But the way you put it, je t'écris pour te parler. Pour te parler. Donc, je t'écris pour te parler. You see, when you say quand j'ai visité le zoo, it's so, you know, it's harder. Why not just saying je t'écris pour te parler de ma visite au zoo le mois dernier? That's much easier instead of coming up with all these tenses. Remember, you know, you'll have plenty of opportunities to write tenses. Okay? Bien. Yeah, taco, it's on fait. All right. J'ai visité Kailia, you put j'ai viste le zoo avec mon ami. You can have mon and ami with an S. Okay, these are the typical mistakes that we see every year. And these are the mistakes which affect your grade. Okay, you need to remember that if you have something singular, everything has to be singular. If it's plural, you have to put it plural. Okay, so Odisha, salut, comment ça va? Je vous écris pour vous raconter ma journée au zoo. Okay, that is very good. Okay, this is for a formal letter. Okay, Odisha, so if you say je vous écris pour vous raconter, that's very good. Even though we're doing an informal one, I'm still going to put it because I like the way you put it. Je vous écris pour vous raconter ma journée au zoo. But remember, we're doing an informal letter, okay? So you can put the two so that I can see whether or not you would know how to move from one to the other. Because it all depends on the type of letter you're going to have. For CSEC, we know that it's going to be an informal letter, but if you're doing another exam, it might be a formal one. Okay? Bien. So I'm going to continue with my little presentation so that you can see what I put. This is what I put. Figure-toi que je suis allée au zoo. Il faut que je te raconte ma visite au zoo. Okay, so here, what I try to do is really I try to make it a little bit interesting. Okay, figure-toi, guess what? I went to the zoo. Okay, il faut que je te raconte ma visite au zoo. I have to. Il faut que. Remember that il faut que plus subjunctive. Il faut que. I have to tell you about my visit at the zoo. Okay? So this is what I put. So figure-toi is just a little expression. Okay? It's here. It's for an informal letter. Guess what? I went to the zoo. But in French, you can't say figure-toi, je suis allé au zoo. You have to say figure-toi que. And don't forget the que if you decide to use that expression. Okay? Now, I put aller without an E just to make it masculine. But remember, ladies, if you have to add an E. Okay? Il faut que je te raconte. It's like saying, il faut que je te parle de ma visite. I like raconte because raconte is the idea that I'm going to tell you a story, okay? Which is true. Donc, il faut que je te raconte ma visite. I remind you that visit is feminine. Therefore, you're going to say ma. Even if you're male writing, it's going to be ma. And then you're going to say to the zoo. So, à le zoo. But à le, you need to remember that à le changes into O, AU. All right? So now we have the reason for writing. Okay. So you need to count the number of words you have. And if you have about 25, then you're okay because we said 25, 125. Now, if you have more than 25, it's still okay. It just means that you're going to reduce the number which you're going to have in the body of your letter. Now, your visit to the zoo. Obviously, this is something that you would do before you even write, okay? But you need to think about animals, okay? So, can you write a few animals from the top of your head? I don't want you to Google it. I would like you to tell me about 3 animals in one go, okay? So, you write your comment with animals in one go. Because you need to have the vocabulary. Otherwise, if the vocabulary is not there, it's going to be a bit difficult. Okay. Okay, so le paluet, le chat. Not quite, Kailia. Tacochelle, chien, chat, poisson. So honestly, you go to the zoo to see cats, dogs, and fish. Think about other things. Des oiseaux, okay. They are not zoo animals though. That's the downside. Okay. All right. So this is important to have you need to have an idea of some animals. Okay. So I'm going, since you don't know any for the zoo, so let's talk about some of them, because you need to ensure that you have something, otherwise it's going to be a bit difficult, isn't it? All right, so the first one we have here is called a tiger. So I use this one because it's an easy one to remember. And tigre, okay, and tigre, okay, so instead of putting er, you put ri. Okay, la girafe, okay, la girafe, and l'ours. Yes, I like that. I like that. The only thing is that giraffe doesn't have 2 F's in French, okay? So we're going to have la girafe and not le girafe, okay? Le tigre and ours. And ours is a bear, that's very good. Zebra, zebra is zèbre, les zèbres. So let me write it for you. Les zèbres. Okay, so Jean said j'ai vu des tigres, des serpents et beaucoup. Okay, Jean, you cannot say beaucoup de. What is the form? Beaucoup. Let me write it. Beaucoup de. And of course, after beaucoup de, you will have the plural, but it's always beaucoup de because it's a lot of. Okay, you know that some can also be some. So we're not saying a lot of, we're saying a lot of. And then we're going to have that. Yeah. So I like that because Jean put j'ai vu des tigre. Okay, so she went straight into the action. That's very good. J'ai vu des tigres, des serpents et beaucoup d'oiseaux. Okay, so that would be the D apostrophe. Okay. Right. Anything else? Okay. Now I am putting something else here. Défense de nourrir les animaux. Okay. Can you tell me what défense de nourrir les animaux mean? What does it mean in English? Défense de nourrir les animaux. And this is something that you may see in a zoo in French. Okay. So défense de, what does that mean? Yes. Do not feed the animals. So, Rihanna, très bien, do not feed the animals. And it basically is no feeding. Okay. All right. So don't feed the animals. Yes. Très bien, Rose. So if, for example, you have something to write about a zoo, you could probably mention this sign, défense de nourrir les animaux. You have to remember that nourrir has 3 R's, as I usually say. 1 R for breakfast, 1 R for lunch, and 1 R for dinner. Okay? So nourrir, 3 R's. Okay. So describe what you saw. So Jean has already said that he saw some animals. Okay. Christiana, les singes, les oiseaux et les lions. D'accord. Très bien. Okay. So j'ai vu is already something that you can use. Okay, because it's I saw. Alors, this is what I put. Je suis allée avec mon ami au zoo. Nous avons eu une visite guidée. C'était très intéressant. J'ai vu des tigres. Okay, can you see where I j'ai vu? What I try to do is to set up the scene first. Okay, so instead of going straight into I saw whatever, okay, you can add one sentence like this. The difference here is that I added with my friend, I added an information. So before we knew that I'd been to the zoo, but the person, the reader doesn't know if I was on my own. Now we say, je suis allée avec mon ami au zoo. Okay? And I put with mon ami to make it more interesting in terms of the structures. Instead of having je, here I changed to have nous. Nous avons eu une visite guidée. You know, in some places, you could have a guided tour. So nous avons eu une visite guidée. And then I changed tense. And I changed tenses because I want to say, I want to give an opinion, an impression of what I saw. And when you do that, you have to move to a different tense, which is perfect. It was very interesting. C'était très intéressant. Okay? So try to do that in your letter as well to make it very interesting, to show the examiner that you know how to use tenses. Okay? And still in the past tense. D'accord? Donc, j'ai vu des tigres, des girafes, des lions, and whatever. Okay? But you can, as I said, 3 is good. You can talk about it for a long time. Okay? So, Taco asks, what about il est interdit de? Yes, you could see il est interdit de nourrir les animaux. Défense de or il est interdit de is exactly the same thing. But I think that they would say défense de because because it's short. So it's 2 words. Il est interdit de, it's 3 words. So, but both are accepted. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you now, what I'm going to ask you to do now is to describe what you saw. Okay, and I would like maybe 3 sentences, if it's possible. Okay, where you introduce your visit, and then I would like to see something about your opinion as well. So let's try that. So I'm waiting to see what you're writing. Okay, Taco, I just would like you to do what I've just done, which is to introduce your visit and give an opinion of what you saw. I'm not sure, I don't know if the chat will allow you to write 4 sentences. I'm not sure. Okay, basically, Jean, what you did, you said j'ai vu des lions, etc. What I'm asking you to do now is you can still say j'ai vu, blah, 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 but you need to add your opinion because this was missing, okay? Remember, we have to write 100 and at least 130 words, okay? So we need to pad it a little bit, okay? We've already finished with the introduction. Now it is the body of the letter. So what, okay, you saw 3 types of animals and what? That's what I'm trying to ask you to do. And then also some informations, added information like who you went with is good, because very often when we go out, we don't go out on our own. We have friends with us, so you can add all this, okay, to make it interesting. So Lily says, je suis allée avec Sam au zoo. Nous avons vu beaucoup d'animaux, y compris des lions et 3 grands serpents. C'était très bien. It's Lilia, it's such a shame. Your little E, which is missing, expérience. C'était une expérience, not an experience. Okay? C'était une expérience magnifique. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Unfortunately, I don't want to put it on the screen because I don't want people to learn an experience when it should be une experience. And very often, remember that experience is feminine, okay? So experience add well, experience ends with an E, and you know that most of the words ending with an E are feminine. Okay, so try to go for that. I'm sorry, Jean, the sound was blurred. Is it because of the music that I played? I stopped it now, but is it because of the music? And also, Lilia, very good. She put Je suis allée with double E, very good. And then she moved to Nous avons vu, très bien, and beaucoup d'animaux, that's very good. This is a very good letter. I like as well what she put, y compris des lions et 3 grands serpents. Très bien. That's very good, Lilia. Okay, I'm waiting to see if anybody's writing. Okay, I'm going to continue then because I'm not sure if you're writing or not. All right. So I want, oh, okay, somebody has written something, so let me continue. You can say dernier samedi, samedi dernier. Ma famille et moi, aller au zoo, on a vu beaucoup d'animaux comme des singes, des tigres, et beaucoup plus. C'était très amusant car j'ai caressé un singe, not un cygne, un singe, okay? All right, so Taco, you need to remember that aller is a to-be verb. So when you say ma famille et moi, I'm assuming, Taco, that you're male. You have to put some allées like this, okay? Famille et moi sommes allés aux zoos. On a vu beaucoup d'animaux, not de animaux, okay? Beaucoup d'animaux, comme des singes, not cygnes, singes, okay? Des singes, des tigres. So you said des tigres, but you didn't put an S, okay? C'était très amusant car j'ai caressé un singe, okay? Caresser, good word here, but caresser doesn't have 3 S's, it has 2. Caresser, okay? Donc j'ai caressé un singe. Très bien. Caresser, for those who don't know what it means, is to stroke. Okay? All right. Hier samedi, je suis allée au zoo avec Sarah en taxi. C'était très amusant. Nous avons vu nombreux animaux comme des tigres, des serpents et des oiseaux. Okay, so here, Rose Gray, nombreuses, okay, you can say nombreuses d'animaux because nombreuse is feminine, it's an adjective and it's feminine, and animal is masculine, so you cannot put it that way. I'm going to correct that. It's part of a rule. Okay, what happens when you have an adjective plural before noun? You have to remember that it always have a de before. Okay, rule. So if you didn't know it, you know it now. Okay, de nombreux animaux. Okay. So, nous avons vu de nombreux animaux, so you don't have the D apostrophe anymore, comme des tigres, des serpents et des oiseaux. OK? Très bien. Isaac. What's that? Je suis. I don't know what that means. Avec Kim Ozo. Nous avons différents. Okay. Here, Isaac, you have to rewrite the whole thing because I'm not sure which tense you're using. We have to focus on the present, on the past tense, and it looks as if you have the present tense. C'est is present tense. You have to remember that journée is feminine. C'est une journée inoubliable. Okay. Mes enfants, Jean, mes enfants ont aimé parler aux animaux, ils n'avaient pas peur. Très bien. I like that. Two sentences with two different tenses. This is what we're looking for. We're trying to see if you can move from one tense to the other, and that is perfect. All right, so I'm going to put that on the screen. Mes enfants ont aimé parler aux animaux, ils n'avaient pas peur. Très bien. OK? So that gives you an idea of what you could put there. All right? So I'm going to continue with what I wrote just for you to have an idea. The thing is, I don't really like to put it first, but it was with reference to the no, don't feed the animals, okay? Les singes étaient très comiques. So, les singes étaient très comiques means the monkeys were very funny. Ils nous imitaient. They were imitating us. Il y avait une pancarte défense de nourrir les animaux. So there was a sign to not feed the animals. Mais les visiteurs ne respectaient pas les règles. But the visitors didn't stick to the rules. Okay? So, Kevin, je suis allée avec ma famille au zoo. Il y a, Kevin, you can't say il y a because il y a is present. You can't move from past to present. Okay? You have to correct that. Beaucoup, and it's not beaucoup de, it's beaucoup d'animaux, d'apostrophe, comme les lions et les tigres, mais je préfère les animaux marins. OK? Taco shell. Can you please explain when you use the imperfect? Okay, in this particular context, when you have your actions, I saw, I read, I fed, I don't know what else can you do at the zoo. I ate an ice cream. These are actions. Bam, 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 and I call them the bang action. Okay, the bang actions are the one where you do it once, it's done. Okay, and when you have the bang action, you're going to use the passé composé. All right. In this, as you can see, what I've written, which is in front of you, les singes étaient très comiques. This wasn't an action, really. I'm just uh, describing the monkeys. So for descriptions, I need to move from the bang actions to the imperfect. And that's why I had the imperfect. And what were they doing? They were imitating us. Okay? So if you want to say they were doing something as opposed to they did, you would be using the imperfect as well. And then when you want to say there was, you cannot say il y a because il y a is there is or there are. You'll have to say il y avait. It will always be il y avait. You can learn it by heart. Il y avait, there was, or there were. Okay? So, tackle whenever you want to talk about actions which happen at the zoo. Bang, 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 bang. Passé composé. All right? And then when you want to describe something, for example, there was something or there were something, other things, you move to the imperfect. Okay? And then if you want to give an impression or an opinion, definitely the imperfect. It was good. It was funny. It was interesting. All this, you would put it in the imperfect tense. All right, Odisha, not allowed to feed the animals. I don't understand the questions. Yes, this is, there was a sign which means don't feed the animals, or it is forbidden to feed the animals, anything like that, or you're not allowed to feed the animals will work as well. Or no feeding of animals or anything like that. Okay? All right. So now what I would like you to do is to think about an event, an incident, more exactly. So you were at the zoo, you saw tigers, animals, monkeys, or whatever, and there was a sign not to feed the animals, but people they totally ignored that sign. What else can we come up with? Because so far we don't have anything else, okay? So Matana, je suis allée avec mes parents au zoo. Nous avons visité le zoo pour amusant. I don't understand pour amusant. What do you mean? Nous avons visité le zoo pour... I'm not sure what you mean there. C'était très amusant. Okay. Remember, try to avoid repeating words. Okay. You put amusant the first time, amusant in the third sentence. Too many of them. J'ai vu des serpents verts. Why no S at serpent and why no S at singe? If you put des, there is plural, so you need to put your S's, okay? Otherwise, it's good. It's just that I'm not sure what pour amusant means. We visited the zoo. And in this case, anyway, you need to remove the amusant because you have it twice, okay? We visited the zoo for fun. For fun. Yeah, fun is always a word I find difficult to put in French because the French don't really say, I visited the zoo for fun. They just say they visited the zoo. They wouldn't say for fun, but pour nous amuser. Bonjour, Marvin. Pour nous amuser. Okay. But I would like Matana to think of another words because she's already used amusant. So I wouldn't like you to use amuser, amusant. Any word with the same root is a repetition. Okay. Remember, when the examiners correct you or grade you, they're going to look as well for the wide range of vocabulary. And if you keep repeating the same kind of words, it's not going to help you with that. Okay? All right. Lilia, you're saying an animal escape. Oh, but I don't want all this, Lilia. This is English. I don't want any English there. Okay? But I agree with you. We can talk about an animal which escape and so on. But the thing is, what you're going to come up with has to be something you can say, because there's no point talking about an animal escaped and you don't know how to say that. All right. So try to think. Yes, but Lilia, I totally agree with you. Interesting possible events. I agree with you. So now, Lilia, put that into French for us, please. So now we have défense de nourrir les animaux, mais les visiteurs ne respectaient pas les règles. Okay, so now we're going into an incident. Okay, Odisha Thomas said, j'ai vu un panneau indiquant défense de nourrir les animaux. Très bien. that works. Pour passer du temps ensemble, I like that, Marvin. That is a good way of putting it. I don't know if the students will want to put all this, but I prefer that. Okay, so je suis allée avec mes parents au zoo. Nous avons visité. Again, she repeated zoo. Okay, je suis allée avec mes parents au zoo. Nous avons visité le zoo, so nous l'avons visité. Okay. And then you said pour passer du temps ensemble. Okay, that is perfect. Now, going back to, I can't remember the person who said it. The person, Matana. Coming back to you, when you have pour, and then after pour, you're going to put a verb. If you have a verb, the verb needs to take the infinitive form, okay? So, for example, Marvin Jackson said, pour passer du temps, passer ER is the infinitive form, okay? So, to spend time together, all right? Yeah. Cash money, cash money. How can you say dernier samedi and put samedi with a capital S? No, 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 no. Samedi dernier, mon ami Jenny et moi visiter. Ah, okay, so that doesn't work. You know why? Because when you say visiter, you visit something, so it's direct. But if you go to a place, it's indirect. So you're going to put the to the zoo. So you will have nous sommes allés au zoo ou nous avons visité le zoo. So you have to decide. C'était magnifique. That is fine. Nous avons vu des singes, des tigres et des girafes. Très bien. Les girafes étaient très grandes et les singes étaient très beaux. Très bien. That's very good. So Cash Money, can you rewrite the thing? Can you rewrite all this? Sorry. So that I can put it on the screen, please. Okay, Jean. Nous regardions les animaux où nous avons entendu un cri. Un singe a volé les cacahuètes d'un enfant. Oh, Jean, that's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Guys, look at this. And this is what I mean by making things interesting. When you have sentences like that, the examiner has to give you the grade, okay? Nous regardions les animaux. Somebody asked me earlier about the difference between the imperfect and the perfect. And this is a perfect example to show you. Nous regardions les animaux, so we were watching the animals, we were looking at the animals. Quand nous avons entendu un cri, when we heard a shout, okay? So, something was happening when, bang, there was a shout. All right? And that's why I have this bang action. And that's also the reason why Jean put the passive composite. Okay? And what happened? And singe a volé. So he did it. Bang, bang, bang. Bang action again. He stole. He stole. The cacahuete is peanuts. Okay? He stole the peanuts from a child. I love that, Jean. I love that. Okay? So, Lilia, Lilia tried something similar. Je regardais un singe quand, oh, I don't understand the rest. Quand l'a attaqué un enfant, you mean, je regardais un singe quand il a attaqué un enfant. I'm not sure what you try to say. L'enfant a crié assez fortement et tout le monde était choqué. Okay? Lilia, try to change that a little bit. And also, don't forget, when you say je regardais un singe, quand, when you have an action like that, quand, Why don't you put the word when suddenly? When you put suddenly, you know you're going to be using the passé composé. Okay? Quand soudain, il a attaqué un enfant. Il, meaning the singe. Okay? Oh, all right. Okay, it's because you put la, L apostrophe. Uh, so you meant il, Lydia. Okay, quand il a attaqué un enfant. And when you put the soudain, it's good because it means that it was unexpected. Okay? Bien. Cash money. Samedi dernier, mon ami Jenny et moi avons visité le zoo. That's much better. C'était magnifique. Nous avons vu des singes, des tigres et des girafes. Les girafes étaient très grandes et les singes étaient très beaux. Please, that's good. Okay. Très bien. You see, when you write letters like that, you have to pass your writing. Okay. So, Taco, you say, I can read French fine, but when it comes to forming sentences, oh my God, Taco. That's why we're doing all this. So, try to practice as much as you can. So, je regardais. Okay, Lilia, it's not quite right. I'm going to help you here. Je regardais un singe quand soudain il a attaqué un enfant. Je regardais un singe quand soudain il a attaqué un enfant. Okay? Yeah. When you say il a attaqué un enfant, so are you saying that the monkey was out there free, walking around freely? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to read what I put so that you can see other possibilities. Okay. So I put une adolescente, une adolescente embêtait un lion et il a sauté sur sa main et l'a mordu. Il y avait du sang partout. On a appelé le secours. Tout le monde paniquait. All right, so I'm not going to continue. I'm just going to show you what all this is, okay? So, une adolescente embêtait un lion. I was referring to what happened recently. There was somebody who was bothering a lion and something happened at a zoo here. So that's the reason why I came up with this. Une adolescente embêtait un lion, was annoying a lion. Okay? Et il a sauté, so he jumped onto her hand. Il a mordu and bit her. Okay? And il a mordu, elle était sur sa main, il a mordu, bit her, meaning the girl, or bit it, the hand. Okay? And here I wanted to show you something as well. I put mordu and I came up with this sentence especially to explain to you that if you have something like that, where, for example, main is placed before avoir, okay, in the passé composé, you have to remember to put the agreement. So in this case, would be an extra e. The agreement will be at the end of the past participle, and that's the reason why we have mordu. Mordu with the u is the past participle of mord, which means to bite. But mordu is with an e at the end because of man, which is before. Okay. So somebody was doing something repeatedly. Okay, and that's why I had the imperfect. Okay, she didn't annoy the lion, and that's it. She kept doing it. Okay, it was a repetition. Therefore, I have embêté, which is the imperfect. And then what happened? Wow, the lion jumped. It was sudden and beat it, beat the hand. So that's the reason why I moved to the passive composé. Okay? And then you have il y avait du sang partout. Il y avait du sang partout. Okay? So il y avait du sang partout. There was blood everywhere. So here again, il y avait, I told you before that il y avait is there was or there were. So you have blood everywhere. And what happened? On a appelé les secours. So we called the secours means the ambulance, the people who are going, the first aid people, okay? Tout le monde paniquait. So here I'm describing how people were, sorry. So tout le monde paniquait. Everybody was panicking, okay? Any questions so far with the passé composé versus the imperfect? No? OK. So finalement, l'ambulance est arrivée. OK. L'ambulance est arrivée. L'ambulance est arrivée. What? I cannot see the rest. Ah, l'ambulance est arrivée et on l'a transportée à l'hôpital. And she was taken to the hospital. Okay? And here, on l'a transportée à l'hôpital. Again, we're going to have two E's because the person who was taken to hospital was a female. Therefore, we're going to have, okay? So that is really what I'm talking about, is to come up with different things, different actions, different tenses to show the examiner what you can do or what you can write. And then, as you can see here, it says, cela m'a traumatisé. So what is the result? Because you remember, not the result, the consequence. You remember that in the instructions it says how it impacted your outing. Well, the impact is there. Cela m'a traumatisé. I was traumatized. Nous avons dû écouter notre visite. We had to curtail our visit. Okay, écouter, if you know, court is short, so we have to shorten our visit. Okay, and here I have écouter with ER because dû is my first verb. We had to, and you know that when you have two verbs following each other, the second takes the infinitive form. Okay. Vincia, bonjour. Very interesting letter. Well, the thing is, to get those grades, you need to have something interesting to talk about. Okay, so that in a way the examiner doesn't even see the mistake. Just concentrating. The person is just concentrating on your letter, and that's really what you want to do. Okay, so now I would like you to talk about the impact of of the incident. Okay, so somebody talked about the attack uh, by a monkey. Okay, so the monkey attacked a child. What was the impact on your visit, Lilia? What was it? How are you going to talk about this aspect of the letter? And also, Jean, if Jean is still here, you say, elle sait, j'ai volé les cacahuètes d'un enfant. What was the impact on your visit? Was it, what happened? The impact was part of the instruction as well. Very often we want to know those kind of things because very often we need to, not all the time, but most of the time we have to talk about how we felt, and very often we need to use the imperfect. In this case, as you can see, the two sentences I've written don't have the imperfect because I wanted to really focus on the idea of the shock, how shocking it was. Okay, it was shocking. I was traumatized. This traumatized me. Okay, so that's why I had to leave the zoo. All right. So anyone, anyone is coming up with the effect of the incident? Okay, I don't see anything written. Okay, Kaila, J. Okay, be careful because I think you've written that before. You said vist is visiter. There's two eyes. Okay, le concealing, I'm not sure what that is. Avec l'hôpital. I'm not sure what that means. So if somebody knows, please let me know. I'm not sure. All right, so remember, we went to a zoo. We enjoyed at the beginning, we saw different things, we enjoyed the zoo. However, at a particular point in time, something happened and it had an effect on your outing. And as Taco Shell says, je n'y retournerai plus jamais. I like that. I like that. Je n'y retournerai plus jamais. I will never go there anymore. Okay, that is good. All right. So when we have done all this, we are going to come up to the ending of the letter. Okay. So my ending is very different from yours, Taco. You said that you will not return there, but I said the opposite. Je retournerai au zoo en été. Et toi, quoi de neuf? J'attends de te lire. Écris-moi vite. Something like that. Okay. So I'm saying I will return. And Taco, there's no S. Je retournerai. What you put was correct. Is the future. If you put an S, it becomes the conditional. There's no need for the conditional here. I will return to the zoo in the summer. And you, quoi de neuf? What's new? J'attends de te lire. I look forward to hearing from you. write to me soon. Okay, Jean, you said les enfants riaient et cachaient leur nourriture. Okay, that's very good. Good use of the imperfect here. Very good use of the imperfect because these were actions which were repeated and which were ongoing. Okay, so les enfants riaient et cachaient leur nourriture. And I've noticed you put leur and not ça also. Anything like that. That's very So I would like you to complete your letter now. Can you come up with something else? And I'm going to remove that so that you can come up with different stuff. So for the person who wasn't sure about the past composé versus imperfect, there are some videos there which you can use. Okay, they are on the channel. That's what they look like, so you can use those. Okay, so how do you how do you end your letter? So whilst you're doing this, for those who feel that they need some help, uh, you can actually write your letter and send it to frenchaction1@gmail.com for this week. Okay, and I will have a look at it if you are interested. Okay, but writing is all about practicing. Okay, so you need to practice and do exercises, as I said before. Exercises are on the channel. When you have the exercises, you know I'm going to give you the answers after. So try to do the exercises, stop the video, and to make sure that you put it down on a piece of paper, and then you look at the answers and you compare what you've written with what I have given you as my answers. Okay? And that's how it works. And that would be much better to do it that way because it's going to be practicing, practicing, practicing. Okay. All right. So I don't see any endings. Um, all right. I'm waiting. All right. So Jean said peut-être nos familles peuvent retourner au jeu ensemble. Please. Okay. Um, yes, okay, Jean, I agree with that as well. Peut-être nos familles peuvent retourner ensemble. Please, Jean, okay. Um, yes, that is a possible possibility. Okay. Um, so whatever you write, as I said to you for the introduction, you're going to count the number of words. Then when you finish the body, you're going to look at the number of words. And then this also will give you an idea of how many words you can write for the conclusion, because you don't want to write too many words, because when you write too much, you make too many mistakes. Okay. Personally, I would like you to stick to the minimum. So if it says 130 words to 150 words, go for 130, stick to 130 or 135, stick to that, because the more you write, the more mistakes you're going to make. Okay. All right. So I don't see anything else, but I hope that this slide has given you an idea as to how to come up with a letter. And also try to be a little creative, not with the not really with the words as such, but in terms of try to have some imagination. What could have happened? Somebody mentioned um, somebody who fell into a pond or something like that. Now you need to make sure that you know how to say pond or, or fell into the water. If you don't know the word for pond on the day, just say fell into the water. Same thing. And there's a video which is on this channel, which is called 5 ideas for letter writing. It has a red thumbnail, and I'm giving you some onomatopoeias which can be used for your letter. So, like when you fall into the water, what sound does it do? Okay, I know in English it's splash, but what does it do in French? Do you know? So these are the kind of things that will make your letter very interesting. So to me, the way I see it is that all of you can write very good letters. The only thing is that you need to check the S's that you miss out. Also, try to see how you can use the passive composé versus the perfect. Okay, make it interesting, and you get to be great. When that happens, they have to give you the grade. Okay. Now, for those who are doing CSEC, you know that the letter is not the only thing you have to do. There's also contextual dialogue, which you have to complete. So there's already one contextual dialogue which I prepared 2 weeks ago, I think, and that was because the topic is interview. So I looked up the questions. Now on Thursday there's another one coming up, but it's not the questions the other. Okay, it's the when you have an interview, you have the interviewer and the interviewee. So in that video is going to be the interview. So I would strongly advise you to watch that one, because if you have that kind of conceptual dialogue, this is what you get. Okay. All right. I think we have worked hard. I didn't think that it would take so long, but it did. I'm sure everybody's tired now and doesn't want to do any more French. All right. So I'm going to leave you then. And if you have any questions or any comments, I'm willing to take them now. Okay. Otherwise, then I will see you hopefully next Sunday, where we're going to have little exercises, just few exercises, where you have to fill in the blanks. So I'm making it a little bit more challenging for you, but it's basically what I mean. If you know your grammar or your vocabulary, you should do them without any difficulty. Okay, so 3 o'clock Jamaican time, 3 p.m. Jamaican time. This is what is going to happen next week. Okay. All right. So Zua, you're saying réécris-moi vite. Why? No, you just say écris-moi vite. You don't need that. Écris-moi vite. Okay. Let me write it for you. Écris-moi vite. Okay. All right, Taco. Okay. Bonne soirée to you too. You need uh you need practice your past tense. Okay. Do you know where I can get paper one? Don't you know that you're not supposed to get paper one? So no, nobody can have paper one because paper one is used by CSEC. So cannot help you with that. But we'll do a paper not next week, but I think the week after. Okay, for paper one. All right. But I can't help you with that, I'm afraid, because paper one not circulate. Okay, that's why you can't find any. Right. Okay, well, I don't see any more comments or any questions. So I'm going to leave you then. As I said, if you want to write that same letter or maybe a different letter, it's not a problem. But if it's a different letter, you have to put the instructions so that I know it will be what to put its instructions. Okay. So I remind you that the email is frenchaction1, the number one, at gmail.com. All right. Alors, au revoir tout le monde and bonne soirée and have a lovely week. Bonne semaine. Au revoir.